Welcome to shit. Get my damn microphone. Welcome to another episode, everyone. Esborne from Rolling 60's is indeed a crash out artist. He was in the Los Angeles County Jail squabbling up. In this situation, he split the dome wide open of an OG Crip for challenging him. Now, I have to give you a bit of a backdrop because it's pertinent to the story. Esborne had just recently, at this juncture, been accused of killing another Rolling 60's, one of his own homeboys. I've spoke about Esborne one time before, just briefly. I believe I told a story when he got into it with a blood there on a tier in the Los Angeles County Jail. He also got into it with K5 from VNG, and they had an epic squabble down that lasted for hours. I'll get into that at some point, but he had many squabbles. Now, since he was accused of killing a Rolling 60's, some of his homeboys, most of them, were not messing with him. They had a lot of love for Esborne. He was one of their guys, for sure, one of their main individuals at this juncture. But since he was accused of the unthinkable, even though you're not a 60's until you kill one, they were not messing with him. For those who were, it was from a distance. But he still had a couple of individual 60's that were close with him, even there in the Los Angeles County Jail. But some of them seemed not to want to be caught with him, caught around him, caught dealing with him. In fact, on the street, they had tried to bomb his house or threw a fire, a cocktail or something at his house, shot at his house, all this sort of stuff. In fact, it was said at that time anyway, that the 60's, well, they wanted his head. They wanted him dead. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into the politics of the Rolling 60's and the neighborhoods. It's just not my business and not my place. I know what went on with that situation, who he was accused of unaliving and the whole nine. Me and Esborne became pretty tight because I saw him as a stand-up individual. I don't give a fuck where he was from. If you're strong and real, we're from the same place. Just different streets, but the same place. We're coming from the same place, the same foundation. I've always been able to relate to anyone that's a stand-up individual, regardless of what set they claim. That's minimal to me. That means nothing. Only the person's character, and Esborne was of strong character. So he and I related rather well. And he ran a lot of this stuff down to me. Now, there in the county jail, Esborne was minding his own business, just really walking a fine line because he knew that his own homies, for the most part, were out to get him. He probably didn't feel like he had a lot of bag up, at least not as it related to the neighborhoods. At that time, I don't know what's going on with him now. Shout out to Esborne. I don't know what's going on with him now. I've lost contact, but at that time, this is indeed what was going on. I was there. With that in mind, it's not that he was walking a fine line because he was afraid of anyone. He was not afraid of anyone or anything. I saw no fear in this individual whatsoever. But he just was being respectful, minding his own business, and for the most part, keeping to himself. But it was always there in the background, the backdrop, that should someone irritate or aggravate this individual, he had the potential to explode in a nanosecond. I got that impression rather quickly dealing with Esborne from 60's. One time there on a tier, and this was 22-2400, an older Crip from Legend, what's the other, Sex Jerk, something like that. It's like he's not an enemy of Esborne. He was not, they hoods like got along. Now, Esborne is still claiming 60s to the T. He's banging it, even though he's accused of unaliving one of them, and his own homeboys want him dead. He's still claiming the hood that has done something to his house, to his home, looking to unalive him. And he's repping it to the fullest. It's in his heart. But they don't necessarily, again, have his back. With that in mind, he carries on. One day, on a tier, an older Crip, legend, sex jerk, I forget where this dude was from, liquor store Crip, you know, one of them little rinky-dink sets in LA, one of them little side pocket hoods. And it was a couple of these individuals actually from this hood in the cell together. Even though they were not that deep on the street, I believe that they were crimees. So, you know, they had committed a crime together, or allegedly got caught, and now they're in the county jail. Normally, you wouldn't if you see one of these individuals, you would just see one. But it was 2 or 3 of them there because they had a case together. And Esborne, again, is essentially on his own, so he thinks. They call Esborne for a visit. And when they call him for a visit over the loudspeaker, they don't hit his cell. They don't open his cell door for some time. So Esborne begins to yell out of the tier. He said, hey, Pop, you know, whatever cell he's in. He was on the top tier, like in the first 3 or 4 cells. So like Charlie 4 or something, Charlie Row, Baker Row, Denver, and Abel Row in the county jail. He was on Charlie Row, C Row. They call it Charlie Row. Cell 4, so C4, Charlie 4. Yeah, hit Charlie 4, Charlie 3, whatever cell he was in. I got a visit. Where y'all at? And they're not coming to hit his cell. They're taking their time. They have nothing against Esborne that I know of, the police. They just get caught up sometimes. They're doing whatever. They're running this whole module, and there's two police in there. So they're not hitting his cell. The older Crip comes by Esborne's cell. Well, Esborne tell him, hey man, go down there and tell the police to hit my motherfucking cell. I got a visit. The fuck is they doing? So the Crip, the OG, he tell Esborne, bro, hold on. You know, calm down. Don't talk to me like that. I'll go let the police know, but bro, you know, who you think you talking to? So Esborne, he's enraged now. He can't believe what he's hearing. He's nearly shocked. So he responds, bro, what? Who the fuck you think you talking to, man? I ain't come at you crazy, bro. I'm telling you to tell the police to hit my door so I can go to my visit. My people out there waiting. What are you talking about? So dude, like, man, but it's the way you say it, bro. It's the way you're supposed to approach someone. Now, Esborne was indeed aggressive when he came at this individual. Nevertheless, it's because he was upset. He wasn't upset with this individual. He's upset with the police. They have his people out there waiting for some time. I'm talking about 45, 50 minutes done passed by. It's only a 15-minute visit behind the glass there in the Los Angeles County Jail. So you standing out there for hours just to come in here for 15 minutes. Tell these people to hit my door. He's upset with the police. But the OG is taking it like he's upset with him and is coming at him aggressively. Even though this is clearly not Esborne's intention. He's irritated by the whole situation and wants it to be rectified. Nothing against this individual here. That's not how this dude took it, and he responds and told Esborne, man, bro, you got the wrong one. And Esborne, he hot. He like, man, you tripping, bro. I'm trying to get out for my visit. You want to sit there and play tough and be tough and all this shit right now? You taking up for the police or something, bro? I'm telling you to tell the police to hit my door for it. Now I got to sit there and argue with you instead of you going down here to tell the police to get my door open for a visit. Now my visit's still sitting out there because I'm sitting here going back and forth with you, bro, about whether or not I was a great. Come on, man. What are you talking about? And the OG, he doubles down. See, there you go again, bro. There you go again. Now, Esborne, he didn't have it. He's done talking. And he tells the OG, bro, I'm going to holler at you as soon as the door's cracked. Fuck everything else now. Fuck my visit. Fuck all that. Bro, if you out here when the door's cracked, I'm finna holler at you. Get the fuck away from myself. I'm going to holler at you when the door's cracked, bro. That's it. It was over. No more talking. Now the OG began to try to talk Esborne down. He said, bro, we both Crips. What are you talking about? I understand if you mad at the police. He like, no, bro, I was trying to tell you to holler at the police. But then you want to get crazy. But now, dude, everybody on the tier is hearing this. He knows this. So now, dude, well, he has to protect and defend himself, or you in trouble. So instead of taking a soft route like he was doing at first, now he gets aggressive again. He's like, man, whatever, bro. I don't give whatever. I'm an OG from my hood. You know what I'm saying? He basically telling Esborne, like, man, you by yourself. Your homies don't even rock with you. He's like, yeah, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But Esborne, he felt like he didn't need any help. I told Esborne, I got your back. Now, let me make this explicitly clear. I was in complete violation. He's from neighborhood 60s. I'm telling him I got his back on a Crip-on-Crip fade. None of my business. But I had so much love for him. And I just couldn't imagine them dudes down there stumping him out in the cell or something like that. I wasn't going to let it happen. My homie's going to have my back regardless, even though certainly I would have had to have answer to that later on. I was willing to take that chance to have his back. But Esborne said, bro, I got this. I beat both them dudes' ass. Don't trip. I'm going to fuck both of them fools up. That's what he said. You're like, man, he hot, bro. He light-skinned, but he turning red. Pink even. Fire in his eyes. He's now said, the hell with the visit. He wants some action. He wants violence. He wants blood. He can taste it on this individual. They finally popped Esborne's cell for the visit. And the OG is nowhere in sight. Not surprisingly, because it was clear by Esborne's response that the games were over. He was coming out to attack, and the talking was done. Esborne go on to his visit, says he didn't see this individual. If he had saw him right then and there, no doubt in my mind he was going to attack him. Like he said, fuck the visit and all that. He was about to go, and that's how it happens in there. You'll go up in the visiting area, right in front of your mama. It's on, it's on, it's on. They about to tell his people, you got to go back. He went to the hall. But he's not there. So Esborne goes on to his visit, and he comes on back. And he goes back in his cell. He's still looking for this individual when he comes back, but he's nowhere in sight. But Esborne, well, he's teething. He goes to his cell, and he's ruminating. He's pondering this. And he took complete umbrage to the OG's tone. And the OG telling him that he was alone and therefore he was not in fear of him. Esborne sought to teach him a better lesson. The next day, Esborne gets out of his cell and he's roaming the tiers. The whole module, weapon in tow, looking for the OG. He still can't be found. Finally, Esborne said, I'm going to have to run into his cell. Because OG was out all of the time. Now all of a sudden, he's not out of his cell anymore. But Esborne is not about to let him get away. So he says, man, I have to run into this dude's cell with his cellie up in there. His crimey is homie. I was first just going to go looking for a squabble, but if his cellie jump in, it's on. I got my thing. I'm not about to get packed out. But I go in there and squabble. I'm finna go in there and squabble this dude. I'm gonna have to go in his cell because he run it. And it was clear that the OG, when it all came down to it, well, he didn't want that smoke with Esborne. But smoke is what he got nevertheless, because Esborne indeed got his cell hit and ran in there and just started swinging crazy. The OG was fighting back, and so they squabbling. But Esborne is not a small individual. He's tall. He a big dude. And he was young at this time still, and strong. And strong in heart. Relentless in his squabbles. And he was merciless with the OG. He was in his cell, and he was dropping the OG. Bam, bam, bam. And he talking to him at the same time. Bitch ass motherfucker. He calling them bitches. No, he was hot. And he beating the OG, leaking, bleeding. Then finally, the OG cellie, what everyone sort of expected and thought that if he starts getting the best of this dude may try to jump in. That's why I told Esborne, I could send some people in there to have your back. He's, man, I got this. I got both of these dudes. The dude try to jump in, I got it. And dude did try to save his cellie. He tried to save his crimey, his boy, his partner. Much respect to him. He tried to save him because he didn't have a chance. He was letting them fight at first. He was letting them squabble. But when it was clear that his boy was about to go down and not be able to get back up anytime soon, he decided, I got to do something. The cell door was closed. No one else was going to be able to run in there and help Esborne as far as he was concerned. So he jumped off his bunk finally, because he was on his bunk. He was letting them fight. He was out of the way. He was not planning on packing Esborne out. That was clear. But once Esborne got the dude on the ground and dude is leaking, his cellie jumped off the bunk. But when his cellie jumped off the bunk, Esborne turned on him and cracked him, bam, and pulled out the burner and swung it at him, but he didn't hit him. He could have unalived both them dudes in the cell. Both of them in there basically incapacitated. But when he hit the dude with the left, bam, he dropped him. His cellie really had no chance. The OG was put up a fight. His cellie had no chance, but he had heart because he jumped up and tried to do something. Then Esborne, well, instead of the situation de-escalating, it escalated. Once he saw both of them on the ground, it's as if he became more irate that they would even challenge him. So then he went back and turned his ire back onto the OG while he was on the ground basically moaning, leaking, eyes swollen, looking for help, and if not help, then mercy. But Esborne, he didn't possess any, and so he continued to pummel on him until the OG head is leaking. His head is basically split open. Esborne had crashed out. He blacked out. He had lost it. He went berserk and bananas right there in the cell and demolished both of those individuals. It was a sad sight. Both of those dudes left the module and never came back to that module. I don't know what happened to them. I was in the county jail for 4 years. I never seen him again. Challenging Esborne. But now, let me tell you, as I said, he had some vicious squabbles in there. He did. This was one of them. But he had many others. And he was by himself really holding his own, bro. But when he had squabbled with K5 from VNG, I don't believe at that time he was accused of any of that stuff. So his homeboys did have his back. He was a major factor at that time. Even at this time, he was a major factor. It's just that what had happened. You know, some people were upset. But when he squabbled K5, he had all of the strength of the neighborhoods behind him, and he knew that, emboldening him. But he had the heart anyway. With K5, he was also in there squabbling. I know there's been some stuff coming out about K5 or whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. It's none of my business. But he was a squabbler. He was fighting, bro. I can tell you that. I can give you a couple of K5 squabbles as well. But I get to the Esborne squabble with K5, and it was an epic, one of the most vicious fights that has ever transpired in the Los Angeles County Jail. Shout out to Esborne, man. Hope the dude's okay. Stay safe and stay free, people.